Call this meeting to order. Determine there's a quorum present. Commissioner Wardlaw, Commissioner Vasquez, Commissioner Garcia, and Commissioner Flores and myself. We do have a quorum. If y'all will please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Wardlaw, if y'all will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank y'all. Item 5, approval.
Second.
I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Vasquez. Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. I have no papers for citizens' comments. Anybody? Okay, there are no citizens' comments. Item 7, approving of the reports from elected officials. I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Vasquez. Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 8, approving bills for
Motion
payment.
to approve is presented. I will second that.
I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 9, update information on Placer AI, highlighting 4 events and economic impact of tourism in Valverde County. Ms. Blanca Larson.
Okay, so, in your packets, we're gonna go ahead and put it on the screen also, but in your packets, I think we just put, additional information on here, but it's a large packet, I don't know what order they put it in, so I'm going to tell you what we're gonna do. So, a year ago, or over a year ago, we, got, approached by Placer AI and about 3 or 4 other companies that do, artificial intelligence. They track people through their cell phones. So we did a contract between the Hispanic Chamber, the Del Rio CVB, and also the county. We did an annual investment of, it was $18,450. It was probably $4,856.25 each, and we bought Placer. So we have been training Bethany and Debbie and myself have been training on this program, and they have to learn your market. So what they do, Placer AI, they go ahead and they get data through your cell phones. So when somebody asks you and you say, don't track or track, if you use Google or you use Maps, they're tracking you. So they can track who goes to events, who's visitors, and who's not. They track through zip codes. So we don't know phone numbers, but we know zip codes. We don't know if the age is a 8-year-old or a 10-year-old, but they do have analytics that show the breakdown on that. So what they do, they track data for visitors, residents, employees, and tourists. They do visitor journey, where they go before the event and after the event. They do an event analysis, how many people attended the event and how long they stayed. They do revenue and sales tax estimation, competitive analysis. We can look at other markets, ask them to compare our market to another market, and they can do that for us. Travel and tourism. One of the main things is where are the people coming from? They can show you a map that shows highlighted where people are coming from, plus the zip codes. It also supports local businesses. Some of our businesses, if they ask us to, like our hotels, where are the peaks on the hotels and where are the lows, and how can we improve the hotel occupancy tax? They also do the same thing with restaurants and with like Starbucks, right? With Starbucks, or with any retailer or restaurant, we can pinpoint that and that will show what their traffic is for the year, or if they had it for an event. Then, our goal is to increase tourism by focusing on markets that will come into town, not to just spend the day, but will also to spend the evening 1 or 2 nights. So we can increase our hotel occupancy tax, and that should automatically increase our sales tax. There is training year-round that you can look at. If somebody from the county wanted to log in, we'd have to log you in under marketing. You can log in yourself if you want somebody to get a hold of, look at these statistics. The report, Bethany does the reports for us, and they're online, and we can send the reports. I thought those are the reports that you got. but, you know, sometimes it's easier, anybody can log in and go through a training. So the renewal, the annual investment for renewal, the renewal is, in June of this coming year, is $19,425. That is divided by 3 is $6,475 each, and it's a 5% increase. There is a 3-year contract. This is only a 1-year contract. We have not asked them for a 2 or 3-year contract to see what the cost is.
Got a question, ma'am, on this Placer AI, how accurate is it? Is it 100% accurate on their numbers or?
So I think they're about anywhere between 90 to 95% accurate. When we did the event during the eclipse, we compared our ticket sales to what they gave us on each night that we had an event at the fairgrounds, and they're pretty well on track. So I know that they have an algorithm, and if you have your phone off, it's not showing you. It's not going to track
That's
you.
not gonna pick you up.
Yeah, it's not gonna pick you up. So right now, it doesn't pick up Mexican phones, but we did get some from Acuña, right? But a lot of people from Mexico have U.S. phones. So, but we can't identify those, because, you know, our big market also is Mexico. So, but hopefully they'll get to that. I wanted to show you on this page that you got right here. This is kind of an overview. This one. We have not put the percentages of out-of-town tourism, and we'll start real quick. I'm just going to go through them real quick, and then she'll show you on the computer how the map shows and how a heat map is. So George Paul Memorial Bull Riding was April 26th to the 27th of last year. They have overall visits of 7,200. They had individual visits of 5,800. So people went more than one night. They went 2 nights. Then April 27th was the highest visitor. Friday was 2,800. This is what Placer says. Saturday was 4,400, total of 7,200. The out-of-town visitors was 24.3%. And we'll show you on the computer where the people came from and the zip codes, and it will show a heat map. Then the Cinco de Mayo, May 3rd through the 5th, they had 9,100 visitors, and then 7,400 individual visitors. Their highest night was on Sunday, 4,500, and the total was 9,100 and 5.8% from out of town. That doesn't mean that if they're from out of town, they spend the night. So we have to look at hotels and see if they spend the night. But if people come from out of town, it should show that your sales tax should go up a little bit, or our sales tax. The 16 de septiembre, their highest day was Sunday, 2,300, and out-of-town visitors, 18.5. And, you know, they also show, you know, all the vendors are from out of town also and have to spend the night. So the Amistad Parade, it shows that 10 a.m. was their highest day visited, and 4,600 was the amount. And then out of town was 6.7%. So this reports, if you ask us to do a report on, let's say for instance, we do a report on an event that the Whitehead Memorial Museum has. If it's just one day, it's not going to pick up one day if there's only 300 or 400 people or 200 people. We have to look at the week. And then once you look at that week, you can see the spike. There'll be a line like this, and then it goes up on that day. So during the eclipse, Michael at the Whitehead, it shows that it had 600 people on that day, in and out. So there was events everywhere, so that's where that was. So we can kind of, you know, I don't know where he fit 600 people, but that was in and out. So he said he did have a lot of people coming in later. You know, the food was already done. So, but we can track events like that. The same thing with the Casa. They had an event on Saturday, and we can track that event, the Chalk the Walk, and you can see their spike on that day. That was during the eclipse. So we can also track events or restaurants and hotels also, but we have to sometimes look at the whole week. That's what we do with a National Park Service. If we have like 5 fishing tournaments between April and May, we'll track probably 7 to 10 days in April or the whole month, because there may only be 300 anglers, and then it may only, so we have to look at the whole month, and it'll show you the dates that they were there. It'll track it.
Mrs. Larson,
Mhm.
interesting note is that the museum has 400 patient capacity, so that
Right.
was a very busy day for
Right.
600 to go through.
So also, if you guys did go to the George Powell Memorial this past year, they have never had standing room only, and Saturday was packed. They have to turn people away. So, and later on, we'll show you some of the advertising that we did between the Hispanic and the CVB. I can leave it with you and you can look at it, but just wanted to let you know. So during the April, our hotel occupancy tax increased by 67.8%. And then our sales tax increased in Valverde County alone, 11.9%. So, when you get your sales tax, your highest month during the year is February, because that's the sales from December. Because they're lag a month, probably 2 months behind. So if you look at your sales tax report, I can send you an economic indicator report that shows all the sales tax for the city of Del Rio and, Valverde County, and you'll see the spike in February is because those are December figures. I think you looked at the figures for February, they're up 20% for the county, for sales tax,
Right, but I'm talking year over year.
year over year,
Year
okay,
over year, what a great,
yeah.
if my memory serves me correctly, which lately it usually does.
Yes. So you also have to understand on the hotel tax that we had a lot of people that did not pay hotel occupancy tax. A lot of the government does not pay occupancy tax. So even though it went up that much, so, some of them did. The DPS did pay occupancy tax. I don't know why they did, but they were, that was what, 2 years ago? 2 years ago and they were
We
here.
appreciate it.
So I'm gonna have her start with the George Paul, and she can show you the heat sensor maps.
If I could get connected to the TV.
Godwin? Godwin? Can you help her?
It's just, I don't know what he said, Windows something. Windows,
Windows K. You're gonna need to, but you connected to? Okay. It's gonna be Windows K. And that one is gonna ask you for password. Let's connect.
82.
That's all.
So I'll go over a George Paul bull riding event. So it gives us a full report. Again, it's based off of cell phone tower connection. So the downfall is internationally, it won't pick up international phones. So if it is a U.S. phone, it'll pick it up wherever you registered that phone. So we won't know exactly if that was an international person or not. But it will give us a zip code to the U.S. So overall visits, it will give us the visits. The panel visits are people that are registered, I guess, that have more permissions that they've tracked. And then visitors, frequency, and then it will compare it year to year, year to 2 year, year to 3 year, if that event is reoccurring in that time frame. We can do filters to time frames. This is over 10 minutes. So you know the visits and visitors stayed at that event more than 10 minutes in this report. And you can go into more details in the filter of timings and a few other filters. Usually it's time that's a little bit more common. So it does show the visit trend. This is a 2-day event. So the first day, on your paper reports, it won't export all the data. So online interaction, it will show you the individual days. So that's where we got the breakdown from Friday 3.2 to 5.1. So we did see that visible increase from Friday to Saturday. And then the other thing is, a few of the main points of the report is the prior and post, their visitor's journey. So we can break it down to its own tab. So it has a visitor's journey, and it will allow you to see where they're going before and after. You can break that down into locations, to category, group categories. And it's important to know Placer is still understanding Del Rio, so we do need to update locations. I created this geofence, so as you can see on the location, it shows the address of the prior. So this is my man-made address, so we do need to update certain addresses so that it picks it up as the actual,
That's the fairgrounds, huh?
it's the fairgrounds. So it picks it up as the main event's address. So you'll be able to see the prior and post. This helps you see where people are going before and after. It will compare for you and rank the top ones. A lot of restaurants and hotels, gas stations. It will categorize to the chains. So this is where the comparison nationwide as well, what chains they're going to, how many visitors, it will break it down for you. And favorite places, so how many places, how many people are going to certain places, the frequency of it. And then the really interesting part that we like about the report is the visitors by origin. Visitors by origin. And so this is where it's going to show you who's coming into town for this event to their zip code. So that's where we get that percentage of 24.3% of out of the zip code visitors. And it'll break it down to each zip code, how many visitors and the percentage. This will also give us a heat map showing where visitors came from. The lighter the color, the less visitors. The darker the color, the more visitors. So that's just a cool interactive feature that the Placer allows us to see. Does anybody have any questions about this report or any details that you want to see?
No, I don't. That, one of the things that when we put this in place or partnered with y'all in both chambers was that we basically were giving hot tax money and thinking that it was a good idea. This will either support that or not.
Right.
And when you look at the numbers that you're putting out on the sheet that you just gave, you know, we give, to the George Paul, we give 48, to Cinco and the 16, we split it 4,500, and then to Amistad, we gave 10,000. So when you look at the numbers, in there, I mean, the most bang for your buck is really the George Paul, because it's 2 days, and then the Cinco de Mayo, it was 3 days, and then you have the 16 de Septiembre. Those are the ones that are basically the most bang for your buck, and then you get to the Amistad Parade, and that one just, for $10,000, we're just not giving, in my opinion, any benefit at all. There was a lot of people that came in, but for the dollar amount, there was less people and double the dollar amount. So that needs to be looked at. I know that the city had said, we were at a meeting probably 2 months ago or something, and then I think visiting with Manuel a month ago or 2 months ago, that they'd like to be part of this also. And I'd sent them an email that they could still get the information now if they need it, but they said they wanted to be a part of it, so that might be somebody to visit with.
So we're making a presentation to the city tomorrow at the city council. One of the things is that on through our CVB committee, and we invite any of the commissioners that want to be on the CVB board to come in and sit with us, because we're looking at, we have a list of events. Did they put that in their packet? Okay, we're going to send you a list of events citywide, and we're looking at 5 to 6 events that we can make, not we, but as the community can make better. One of the events that we think can be made better is the IGNC, which is the International Good Neighbor event. So that people can come, maybe we can add something to it so that people can come and stay overnight. Because why create a new event so that, it's already, people come to the parade and people come to the arts and crafts. Let's figure out how we can make that event better or we get people from out of town. So we're gonna identify on our committee at least 5 to 6 events that we can help, whether it be through social media advertising or advertising, out of town so that people can come in and stay for the weekend. So, you guys are welcome if you want to appoint somebody there. Also, working with Peter at the city, he's on our committee also, but we're gonna, we're looking at the events and say, okay, we have all these events and we put all this effort into it. How many people do we bring in from out of town? So we need to kind of look at that and see how we can make those better.
Mm-hmm. And with this report, it does give you a breakdown of hourly visits, so that's something to note as well, and the duration of visitors. So that way you can see if people are staying throughout the event or if there's a hot spot just at the beginning and then they're leaving, to see, okay, is this event something that people are just going to do something, or are they actually staying and being, entertained through this event and actually interacting? So with the George Paul, that was some of the insights there that we saw. And again, online, it does give us more interaction to be able to see the zip codes, the full list of them, and the printouts. It doesn't give you all the detail, but that's why we're saying it's really good to, connect with us if you have an event, to sit down and see it online. So that way you can see the interactive part of it as well and get a little bit more details. The other events we wanted to share and show you the reports on was the Cinco de Mayo.
So my question to you is, do you want us to go through all the 4 events, or do you want to just look at the?
I'm interested in how many people from Laughlin attended the other events, because it shows that only 44 went to the George Paul Memorial Bull Riding. I find that very low.
From Laughlin?
From Laughlin, only 44 went.
Well, the thing is, all of Laughlin people have, that zip code is 78843. Is that right? 7884. And 42? Okay.
4-3.
So people from Laughlin have, most of their phones are not local also. So we did do a report for the Laughlin Air Show last year, and it showed 19,000.
Wow.
That included, we can't track Laughlin itself because it is a federal facility, so we track the entrances on the front and in the back because they have the front entrance open. So, and it had people, I don't know how many people are out of town.
Yeah, their phone numbers are going to be from all over the United States then.
Mm-hmm.
Their phone numbers are from all over the United States.
So Placer will track people, like, for example, here, if it's your job, it will see that you're a worker by the frequency of visits. So it might be picking up Laughlin knowing that people live there, so then that's their home. So then it registers them as home, and it will track you, so it knows where you work, it knows where
Well, like you say,
you live.
it's still learning.
Yes, and it's still learning as well. So that's something that we're finding out too, based on our region, and Del Rio, we're border town, and there's not really a lot around us. So then we lose a 50-mile radius of data as well because of the border. So then we don't get a lot of data from there, but it is learning us. It is seeing, okay, even Cienegas, it picks up that as a different place, but that's still Del Rio to us, so that's still like our numbers. So we do have the opportunity with Placer to send in specific addresses, businesses, so that way Placer starts learning and knows, okay, this is Del Rio, this is part of the data that you want on your reports.
John, any specific questions?
I don't, Judge.
No?
I'm good.
So you're welcome to.
I'm good.
You're good?
When you go through the reports, if you want to come and sit with us so we can go through them, we can do that. If you want somebody at the county to have access, we can give you a special email address so that they can have access and they can create their own
I'd like to be on
reports.
that committee, Judge.
Okay.
And the other thing that Placer does allow us to do is multiple reports. It does come with a consultant, so that's like the best part about it because, we have all these questions and they can answer it for us. So if we have a specific report or status, data that we want, we can ask them, how do we get this data? How do we get this report? One of the things that it comes with is a hotel and casino report, so we can see how the hotels did by chain here in Del Rio. Again, if it's not a chain hotel, we just put in the address, it starts learning that frequency of visitors. And then we can also do leakage reports, seeing who's leaving the county for things, and,
It's a retail leakage report. So it shows us where they're going and where they're going for what they're going to. Whether they're going for apparel or groceries or.
and it will break it down even more to what specific place they went to. So if it's a certain gas station, it'll give you the exact address of what gas station you're going to outside of town.
Now we're getting scared.
Yeah.
One of the reports that we pulled was the restaurant report, and we showed that, I don't know how many people were leaving the Eagle Pass, and they ended up at McDonald's. So most of those people are probably border patrol or agents or,
Well, the report, when you showed it to me the last time also, it picked up a lot of people leaving and going to the casino.
yes.
And we just found out too, there's a lot of places called casino in Eagle Pass, like casino, grocery, casino gas. So then we realized, oh wait, let's look at the actual detail. Is it a casino? And a lot of it was the actual casino.
Yeah.
But it does allow a lot of reports, which is great. The leakage, the hotels, chains on restaurants, it ranks you. So that way you can see if you're doing good compared to something, San Antonio wise, if you want to challenge your business. And then, it also will give, just your area as well, like how much did this business impact this community?
They look at the spending for local, and then how much unmet needs and how much they spend outside of the community.
Okay. What I'll do, Blanca, Ms. Larson, is, get y'all everybody's email. And if you don't mind, extend an invitation to everybody, and that way they can go ahead and email you back the ones that like to be part of that committee.
Okay.
And then if I get more than 3 people attending, if y'all will just tell me, then I'll post something. All right? It'd probably be a good idea at the beginning if everybody would go. That work?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank y'all so much.
So.
And Blanca, when you figure out what this is gonna cost us, if you can give us about a month's notice,
I think.
that way I can put it on the agenda.
Okay, I'll email you, but I think it's 6,400 a piece, depending if we do it by 3 or what.
Okay.
So this, I'm gonna have to, get it back from you, but y'all can look at it. We did it in December of 23, and we did it in December 24. We placed this ad in the Rodeo Live. This came out in Las Vegas during the, National Finals Rodeo, and we promoted all our events here. So this is the second year we do this, and, it's pretty awesome. We promoted all the events, and y'all can look at it. We also, Texas Parks and Wildlife and Big Bend, and I'll leave it here on the Big Bend magazine. We've got the back page
What are we doing on
on the Parks and Wildlife.
the bull deal? On the bull, the running of the bulls?
Oh, running on the bulls.
I said they're chasing other guys.
On the running of the bulls, we advertised in the rodeo magazine or tabloid to the San Antonio Express News
Mhm.
to promote that because the Hispanic Chamber and us are promoting that, and we're doing all our social media and Instagram and Facebook to try to get people to come to that.
And when is that?
April 4th and 5th.
April 4th and 5th?
And the cool thing about the advertisement, excuse me, for Rodeo Life, that one is a big deal in Las Vegas, and we did see in Placer a group of Las Vegas residents that visited them.
And for the George Paul, he actually has people that come in from New York and some from Canada and that always come. That have been coming for years.
And we have another event next month, a roping at the fairgrounds. So that'll be interesting to watch that, if that one's growing.
So we'll scan these ads and email them to everybody.
Okay, could you, now that you brought that up,
We do have some reports on them.
okay,
that
could
they've
you
asked
track
for.
that? Yeah, if you don't mind, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, we can send them. And then again, we do, like, if the event is growing, if there's not enough data, it will tell us, but then we can pull it for the month or for the year and see if there's a spike. So we can get around it. The other thing to consider is it does block government agencies. So we were able to get a report for the maze, and just recently it blocked the county. So it just learned that this is a government building. So it,
Yeah, because we had the report for that, yeah. Yeah.
so it completely erased it for us.
But did you have the old one? Did you still have it though?
I did, like,
This is like
I messed
4,000 or
up and I didn't
3,000
save it
something.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, we have it
3,000
all
something.
on the computer, right?
Not the full report, just the the short.
Okay. Yeah, 'cause we had 30 some odd hundred, I think, or something at the maze, people that came, and it didn't pick up, yeah. All right, thank y'all so much. Y'all have any questions?
Yes, sir.
No? Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Very interesting.
We've got Ms. Burkhart and Ms. Gutierrez here, so I'm gonna go ahead and, oh, Ms. Martinez also, council. I'm gonna go to item 16, that way if they want to leave, they can. Discussion possible action on Second International Bridge. I put this on, and I've been doing it for the last 3 times, just to see if y'all had any more comments other than a letter, to give to the city and to, our federal representatives. If we were to have a vote today, I would change my vote completely, and go not to support any international bridge, whether it is south or not. I know that this court voted 3-2 to support a bridge as long as it was south. If y'all are okay with that, then we'll go ahead and get that letter sent out. Again, my vote, if we had another vote, would be not to support a second bridge at all. But if y'all have any other comments on that, if not, then we're gonna move on. We good? Y'all sure? Okay. So, Ms. Burkhart, I want to thank you for coming, though. I really do. We appreciate the interest. And Ms. Gutierrez, Councilwoman, and Ms. Martinez, thank y'all so much. And I know that y'all have been a regular part here lately of the court. Thank y'all. We good? Okay, no action to be taken on number 16. We'll get back, go to item 10, discussion possible action to approve the auditor's report. Have a motion, Commissioner Flores.
I have a question on that one, Matt.
Yes, Commissioner, how can I
What's
help?
our ending balance?
I'm sorry?
Ending balance? Is that a little over $43 million?
You mean in total?
Yes, sir.
Grab that real quick.
Most of the numbers are not.
If
I
that's what
big
the,
numbers, I'm just wondering.
correct, if that's what the sheet says, that's what she says, but that's gonna be a blend, restricted, unrestricted, fiduciary, the whole deal.
Okay. Thank you, sure. But it's everything you're scaring me. Yeah, it's everything in there that still hasn't been spent, and departments that still haven't spent their money.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
probably 8% of our revenue is collected, and typically, we start draining it off at about, $2 million a month. It goes down until the end of the year.
Okay, I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 11, discussion possible action on the following budget adjustments.
Looks like we have
none. Thank God,
I know,
that was
right?
easy. Item 12, discussion possible action, there was no revenue.
Well, there was on 27, but when you guys handle 27, I will, take the order from there.
Okay, so nothing.
Yep.
Item 13, none. Item 14, discussion possible action on a resolution of Valverde County, Texas, supporting legislation that protects Devils River from direct discharge of wastewater. Y'all have any questions on that? It was in y'all's packet. I mean, they're concerned about wastewater treatment plant or something discharging directly into, or even septic tanks directly into.
I've got a question, Judge, but from where? I mean, would they be, thinking they might discharge some of that?
I think
Into the
this
river.
is just a sort of a blank resolution in order to be able
But
to.
there's nothing out there. I mean,
Nothing out there right now.
Okay.
But it is a resolution that we support what they're trying to pass. Basically, no discharge into the Devils River. Is everybody okay with that?
I'll make a motion.
Commissioner Wardlaw just made a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 15, discussion possible action to authorize county judge to sign a proclamation to recognize the contribution and commitment of Red Cross volunteers.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion. Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Wardlaw. It says, there's an American Red Cross Month, this 2025, it's March. This March, we celebrate American Red Cross Month by recognizing, let me get it up here close, the compassionate acts of people in Valverde County, and by renewing our commitment to lend a helping hand to our neighbors in need. Since Clara Martin founded the American Red Cross more than 140 years ago, generation after generation has stepped up to deliver relief and care across our country and around the world, bringing out the best of humanity in times of crisis. Advancing this noble mission, the volunteers and supporters who now give back through the American Red Cross Hill Country chapter remain unwavering in their commitment to prevent and alleviate human suffering in the face of today's emergencies. Their voluntary, generous contributions shine a beacon of hope in people's darkest hours. Whether it's delivering shelter, food, comfort during disaster, supporting service members, veterans, and their families, saving lives with first aid, CPR, and AED, and other skills, or delivering international aid and reconnecting loved ones separated by global crisis. This work to uplift our community is truly made possible by those who selfishly answer the call to help whenever and wherever it's needed. We hereby recognize this month of March, or recognize the month of March, in honor of their remarkable service, and we ask everyone to join to their commitment to care for one another. Now therefore, Valverde County Commissioners Court does hereby proclaim March 2025 as American Red Cross Month. I encourage all citizens to support this organization and its noble humanitarian mission. And I have a motion by Commissioner Flores, second by Commissioner Wardlaw. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries. 5-0. We've done 16. Item 17, discussion possible action of sitting arrangements of Commissioners Court. This one right here, I didn't want to do anything without y'all's approval. We've had this same setup. We used to all be here, and I'd like to build something, if y'all don't mind, where it would be more in a V shape. I think is what y'all had said, sort of like in a V shape kind of deal where everybody sort of has 4 foot of space. We do sort of 4 foot here and then go out with 2 wings, about 8 foot each side. That way we can sort of look at each other, and it would be before that post right there. It would be in this area right here.
I would think, Judge, we need to do some measurements before we take any action on this.
Well, what kind of measurements? What do you want to take?
I think there's not enough room right there.
I think when you said 3, back in the back and 1 on each side.
That pole, and I brought that right there, that's 20 foot. And that's 4 foot per person.
There's plenty of room. Plus, we have to work with what's available. So if we're going to make it work, it's going to work.
Well, we have, how much feet do we have right now? 4 feet? We have more than that, by the time we have our laptops and papers and maps and, would be too crowded.
So do you want to sit front and backwards still, or what do y'all want to do?
I want to make a motion, Judge, that we keep it the way it is.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay. That was easy. All right. I have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Y'all mind if I change the carpet?
It depends on the color.
Bring something?
Change your car, but don't change your mind.
But that's what we'd be replacing it with. Now we're okay with that, because we already have.
I don't like the color.
Well, that's the only thing
It's too
we're gonna
dark.
argue
I
about.
want
We're
something
good.
brighter.
That'd be all right. And what we might end up doing, if y'all don't mind, is cut these wings right here a little bit. That way people can walk around and they're not having such a hard time. Y'all okay with
Yes,
that?
sir, Judge.
Okay. That was easy. Well, I'm gonna go home.
Job cities, right?
It is. Item 17 we've done. Item 18, discussion possible action on updated projects with the county, within the county. Got an email this morning, the grant for, San Felipe Pastures, Vega Verde, and, Comstock, that it is ready for me to sign. So we'll sign it, as soon as we get back. Lawson Road, I know that you've been working on it, Commissioner,
Yes, sir.
and they're supposed to, city's supposed to look at working on the sewer line this week, right? So that one will be ready to move forward. In conjunction with that, I'm gonna jump around on the way I had it listed here, but in conjunction with that, there was a retention tank that we did we took elevations. Yeah, if you don't mind, come on up. Lawson Road, Commissioner Vasquez and Morning and Carlos have been working on a ditch, basically the concrete ditch on the side and then the low water crossing. So in conjunction with that, we've been looking at doing a retention system up north. I guess the easiest way to describe it would be on Frank Larson and Blanca Larson's property, right beside the old Amistad, whatever, the
National Park.
National Park, yeah. There's an area there. I think, we got an email 2 weeks ago. I think the city's looking at buying now Mondragon property. But so we're trying to help with the Mondragon property. That way it would be developed. But I think now that the city's looking at buying the Mondragon property, I think we can give them our information and then they can figure out which way they want to run with that. The modeling that the city had done, it was like 30 some odd acres, surface area acres. I think, when we looked at ours, we looked at doing, 2 tanks. A couple of them would be, I think, between both of them would be in the neighborhood of about 70 some odd acres in order to help more with the flooding. We did, like I said, we did get an email last week that the city's looking at buying the 60 acres there. Don't know what they're gonna do with it, but we'll give them all our information, that way, they can figure out what would be best for them. So those are the 2 projects there in precinct 2 that are actually, joining each other. No matter what happens there, in order to take care of the flooding, it's all gonna have to be done together. The retention system up top, the low water crossings on Lawson, and then the ditches on the Mondragon property, and then maybe some type of retention system on the Mondragon property, and then also on that 27 acres where between Lawson and Chapel. There was also something that was proposed there. And that would help with the flooding going down through Fox and everything like that, and ended up in Cinegas. So, also, we're still waiting, in precinct 2, we're still waiting on, environmental for the sports complex.
Yes,
We're still waiting on environmental for the sports complex that Carl's working on. But I know that all the tribes had already sent their letters in and said that there's nothing, but they're still working on environmental. So as soon as we get that back, I know we'll schedule a ribbon cutting or something for that event. Again, the Escondido, we had $355,000 set aside for Escondido for, the pump station. We got bids in for $800 and some odd thousand, $870, $860. A heck of a lot more money we had set aside. Carl was looking for grants. I don't think that we're going to be able to apply for a grant, in order to accomplish that. I said all along, though, that the city accepted that project, and we need to make sure that they're happy with it at the end of the day. And right now, nobody's really happy because the fire hydrants don't work. So we're going to be about $500,000 short on that project, and probably when the electrical comes in, probably another $100,000 there. So we're probably looking right about $600,000 short on that project that we're going to have to, I think the county some way is going to have to go ahead and bite that bullet and get that done. Again, we sent out a letter to Greg a while back about that project, and we'd hate for them to be taking heat from the state because of something we've not done. So we're gonna have to move forward. It's gonna go back out for bid again. It'll go back out for bid again, and then when those bids come in, then the court will have to make a decision exactly how we're gonna fund that. All right? Warehouse, looks like y'all are moving forward.
Yes,
It's
sir.
already,
You're gonna pour a lot of concrete.
yeah. Yeah. Now, Carlos designed it where you could land 5 or 6 buildings on it, or 5 or 6 planes on it, yeah. Y'all are supposed to pour?
Yes, they're setting up the anchors. They stopped last week because of the weather, but they're setting up the anchors on only the main columns.
Mhm.
That was the only thing that was missing, and probably this week they're gonna put it to concrete, and we're gonna be testing and doing concrete pump for that.
And I wanted to put this on, even though it's specific to a county commissioner, not for everybody, but these people, precinct 1's always worked out of the precinct 2 yard, which, we're working out of, when I was a commissioner, they worked out of a container type deal. And then, went to the fire station that is there located,
Hamilton.
on Hamilton. And now they're fixing to have a full-blown warehouse, which is pretty impressive. You know, I'm sure everybody else sort of already had buildings and community centers and self-help centers and stuff like that. But they really didn't have a facility, which they're gonna have something that's gonna be really nice. We have the event center out at, it's later on in the agenda here, to go, that we've already accepted bids for the event center at the fairgrounds. That still needs to be exactly where we're gonna put it, but it will be at the fairgrounds. We have, other items on here to hand out, bid awards, for different items. The fire station, I know that, last week, Commissioner Vasquez called that, I think he had visited with some council members and other people about a fire station. And I actually got an email from Ms. Burkhart, and I want to thank her, I guess on Wednesday, maybe? Probably Wednesday, right of last week?
That was last
Thursday. Got an email Thursday, so we worked with, me and Carlos, she wanted some meets and bounds for a location of the fire station on the property out there on, 277, 377, where I guess the easiest way to describe it would be where the Hamilton Well's at.
Yeah, 15
So-
acres.
So when you leave, when you take 277, 377 from 90, it would be before SL 79 on the right-hand side of the road. It's right past the pump, and we took out a 200 along the highway and a 400-foot back, piece of property, which is a little bit less than 2 acres, in order to put a fire station that is, 50 by 159, square foot, or 50 by 159. So that one, we also have bids for it. If for some reason we end up with hiccups on that one, we can turn around and put it at the precinct 3 yard, which is right across the street, from this location. Senegas Road, Lawn Park. Y'all are done, no?
We're getting real close.
Oh,
They're gonna be testing the pumps installed on the tanks for the splash pad this week, and then after that, I think we're pretty much done.
And the
What?
fence around the bathroom,
Yes.
the fence on the backside.
But is that something that the precincts will do, or do you want me to look for quotes?
Well, we might be able to do it. Because I didn't want kids there, and then I got a call that there was a puppy stuck under the bathroom, so I had to drive out there and
undo the puppy?
yeah. Juancho and I both went, and we took the puppy out. They had these little tracks underneath where they like load it and unload it, so we took it out, and one of the neighbors took the dog, but yeah, we need some kind of fence around the backside where the septic is.
Yes.
Okay. That was easy. We good?
I'm good.
Target range, we're still waiting on environmental on that one too. But our driveway for that one's we already know what type of driveway we're gonna put in with TxDOT, so that's been approved, right? We've got like $1.2 million still out of the grant, and then another $1.5 million that we borrowed. So we've got $2.7 million on that one. We were going out and gonna get bids also, last Commissioner's Court, we went in and we're gonna go get bids for, maybe trying to do some of the site work.
That'd be nice.
All right, and I know that, there was concerns that everybody was really busy with their own stuff, and probably wasn't gonna be able to help, so this would relieve some of that pressure, with just one or two precincts, doing the work. That's all I had. Y'all have anything else? And as soon as we do something on Escondido, we'll put another item on the agenda to keep y'all notified as to what's going on. All right? Y'all have anything else? No? Okay, no action needed. Discussion possible action on appointment of a member to Valverde County Appraisal District. This would be replacing Commissioner Wardlaw. Do y'all have any names?
I have some ideas. I have some people that I've been thinking about.
Okay.
I need to make more, ask more questions. I need to discuss with them more before they agree. Not everybody's jumping to do it.
Okay. Y'all have any names that y'all would want? Not really? Do you?
Maybe one, next meeting.
You're gonna ask him? Should we put it back on?
Put it on the next meeting, please, sir.
Okay. That'll work. Everybody else? Y'all okay with that? Okay. Item 20, discussion possible action on radios, from the COG for the sheriff's office and constable. I don't know exactly how many radios they're going to be. I know that we signed documents and I'll be taking them back, for Wednesday's meeting back to the COG. We've been buying, radios that were in the $4,000 to $6,000 range. These are some of the $11,000 and $12,000 radios that are more capable. So as soon as we, go back up on Wednesday, they said they're available. The sheriff will send somebody, to go pick them up and get trained. The good thing about it though is we'll have radios for some of the deputies and for the 4 constables also.
So I'll make a motion, Judge, to accept radios for the sheriff department
I'll second it.
And constables.
and constables.
Okay. I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Wardlaw. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 21, discussion possible action approval of Valverde County to enter into agreement with AEP.
Motion to approve, Judge.
Second.
A motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 22, discussion possible action on consideration for Valverde County
I'll
to
make a motion to
approve.
approve.
Second.
Motion, Commissioner Garcia, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 23, discussion possible
Motion
action.
to approve, Judge.
Have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 24, discussion possible action.
Motion to approve.
Motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 25, discussion possible action on continuing education hours for 2025, that they are completed. Ms. Chapoy. They're done?
Yes, sir. Came back with 29 hours and 15 minutes because I had 10 hours carried over from last year.
Okay. So do we need action on this, or you just information purposes? Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Item 26, discussion possible action to approve a resolution to authorize a special application to the Colonia SHC program, authorized county judge to sign subsequent contract CSH 24-0167, designate signatories for program documents, including requests for payment and forms.
Morning, Judge.
Morning.
Court. Thanks for allowing me to be here today. I see a few new faces on the court, so I'd just like to introduce myself. My name is Rob Stevenson, and I run the Valverde County Self-Help Center. And Self-Help Center is funded through federal funds, through Community Development Block Grant funding. It's appropriated by Congress. It goes to HUD. HUD distributes it to all the states. Valverde County falls under the non-entitlement part of the program, which is run by TDHCA and TDA. CDBG funding, if you're not familiar with it, is a very large part of all infrastructure projects that all small and rural counties rely on throughout the nation. So very important. And we're set aside of CDBG funding in two ways. We're set aside because Congress decided that colonias were a big issue on the border, primarily derived in the 1980s from the issue of cholera in the lower valley. So they set aside some money from CDBG just to focus on colonias. And then as a set aside of the set aside, the state legislature of Texas decided to create the Self-Help Center program. It was about 25 years ago. And basically it focuses on housing issues in areas that traditionally, colonias, that traditionally lacking in water, wastewater, other development issues. Most of our colonias in Val Verde already have water and wastewater. There still are a few that are lacking. You know, Comstock doesn't have public sewer, for example, and in Escondido we're still putting in water lines, stuff like that. Those are a few of our colonias that are in our contracts. But we mostly focus on housing. We do a lot of housing repair, we call it housing rehabilitation, and we can also do reconstruction. Basically, the cost to repair a house exceed its potential value, we can tear it down and build a brand new one. The state does give us some limits on our funding. Currently, the limits are fairly generous, especially for rehabilitation. They're set at $75,000 to fix a house. Very few colonial houses merit $75,000 worth of work. Most of them, we need that amount of money to tear down and to rebuild. For reconstructions, we can go all the way up to $100,000, which is a lot of money. Please don't get me wrong. But the state also has minimum size requirements and other energy efficiency requirements that make it pretty difficult to build a brand new spec house on $100,000. We've accomplished one fairly recently in the past year. It was done in Cienegas Terrace, a beautiful little house. We combined it with another program, the Amy Young Barrier Removal Program, which is a state program for disabled individuals and elderly mobility impaired individuals.
Mr. Rob,
Yes, sir.
but the process to this, the family, the person has to apply and qualify for the monies, or haven't even built a new home or fix their existing home or upgrade it, or.
Yes, sir. Yeah, the first requirement is to be in one of the 5 colonias that are in the contract. So there's a geographic requirement, and then there are economic requirements that have to be below a certain amount of income, below a certain amount of assets, that kind of thing.
There will be money for solid waste, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, the reason I'm here today is we received a bonus contract. I'm pretty happy and proud to say that I've been doing this for, 10 or 12 years now, and normally Self-Help Center program funding runs in 4-year cycles. They're 4-year contracts with $1 million each. I think every single year we receive bonus money. The smallest amount we received has been $300,000. It was tacked on to our very first contract, and the most we received is an extra $2 million in his cycle. So this contract is a bonus $1 million contract. There wasn't a whole lot of time to come before court and ask you what you might want to do with it. So basically, it was just a copy of the current one, the most recent one we have in place. Same area, same location, same activity. So there will be solid waste, yes, sir.
Judge, I'll make a motion to approve resolution and have you sign, Judge.
Appreciate it.
Second, Judge?
Yeah.
Motion, Commissioner Flores, second, Commissioner Vasquez. You were going to say something else?
Just a quick little add, sir. I know y'all are concerned about water and wastewater connections. Just want to let you know the CDBG program for self-help can do water and wastewater connections, but only on private property. So we can do yard lines to the street, we just can't do the pipes in the street.
So that would be a city. The city, we have to do whatever's on the street.
Yes, sir. But for example, in
Y'all will
Escondido,
run it from the property line into the house.
exactly the same with septic tanks. We do several of those as well on private property.
And we've done those.
Yes, sir. We've done much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second, Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. It's pretty impressive that he's been able to get us money every year above whatever the contract is. Thank you so much. Item 27, discussion possible action on Val Verde County Library to accept a donation of $50.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion, Commissioner Flores.
Second,
Second, Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 28, discussion possible action on final approval of replat establishing Lot B1 and B2, Block 4, Val Verde Park Estate, out of Lot 1B, Block 4, as previously recorded, slide 468, Val Verde County map of records.
All the subdivision road being followed, right, Mr.
Yes, correct, Commissioner.
Motion to approve, Judge?
Second.
I have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second, Commissioner Flores. Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 29, discussion possible action on final approval of replat establishing Lot A, B, and C, Los Ranchitos subdivision, as shown on map of records, slide 136, side B, slide 62, slide 124, slide 63, slide 120.
I'll make a motion to approve so you don't have to read the whole thing.
Thank you. I have a motion, Commissioner Garcia.
I'll second that for
Second,
discussion.
Commissioner Flores.
It does comply with state and county rules, right?
Yes, correct, Commissioner. This is an industrial subdivision, so they technically don't need to provide water and sewer, but it's available on site.
Okay.
I have a motion, Commissioner Garcia, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 30, discussion possible action to approve the use of the bid instructions and bid package prepared by Texas Infrastructure Development Group for the letting phase of Senegas Road project and to authorize county judge to proceed with the bidding process utilizing the bid package.
Second.
I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Vasquez. Okay. And we're almost, more information, we're almost done. We met with them, on the Senegas Road project last week, and then y'all met, the week before, and then this past week y'all met with the city. They look like the city's going to help, with the infrastructure, with the water line, and then it looks like we might have to put in a couple of chase ways. And that they'll be coordinating with the city as to where and how deep and stuff like that.
That's correct.
So the whole project, would be able to, we had talked about having to do it in 2 phases, but right now it looks like we'd be able to do it all in 1 phase and, not have mobilization twice and everything else in order to be able to save some money.
We can do it in one phase in 2 sections, if you want to call it like that.
Okay.
That way that they can give them time to replace the 12-inch water main, and then for us to put in the pipe.
Okay. And the documents, it's gonna make our job a little bit easier because of the format. All right?
Judge, and the city will be, helping us upgrade their existing, utility lines. So in the future, once we build the road, they don't come in and tear it up.
Yeah, they were willing to put in a 12-inch main in-house, from industrial all the way to Dockman.
And we want to thank them for that. I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Vasquez. Any other questions? All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 31, discussion possible action regarding the improvements of street signage at the intersection of La Prisa Boulevard, Wally Road, Pike Road.
I make a motion to approve.
Okay. Second. Have a motion, Commissioner Garcia, second Commissioner Flores. And what are y'all doing? Just so everybody knows that.
There is, I'll let Carlos go first.
On the screen, yeah.
There you go.
So Commissioner Garcia visited with me 2 weeks ago, regarding the situation in that specific intersection of Las Brisas, and while I will strip and Pike Road and there's lack of, signs out there. So I was proposing to install several, like, warning signs, for the left turn, right turn, and then just to have two stop signs that we're gonna need to have a motion for them to be able to enforce those 2.
How about some warning lights?
That's up to his.
I don't know if I can afford a warning light, but. Yeah, I know.
So, Commissioner Garcia, there was none previously there, or was there any knocked down, or?
There's 5 streets that all connect there. People are coming down Stripe and Pike and going straight and running into the fence. You have Las Brisas that goes and makes an S curve, and people are going straight and launching and cutting across the corner. It's a disaster, and there's like 1 yield sign.
So there were never any signs there before?
No, there's 1 yield sign where you see the stop on the right-hand side, and there's nothing saying curve ahead or, slow down or, curve 10 miles an hour. There's nothing out there but 1 yield sign, and people are just, at night, just launching. It's a safety issue. I don't know if the sheriff wants to say anything about it.
I was about to ask the sheriff.
Yeah.
Are you getting reports, or are they backing out through the hole and going back home?
Is that city or county?
It's all county.
Yeah, no, it's our fault.
So as the county's been growing and these subdivisions have been growing and the roads are extended, there's no thought process on how they've connected. So, there's one, I can show you, where people come up a hill, then they see the curve,
Yeah.
Yeah, right here, they're going down on Visas, then they see the curve, they hit the brakes, they try to make the curve, and then they just cut diagonal across, and this fence has like 3 patches already. Here, they're going straight. Here, the owner himself put up a stop sign on inside his fence, big stop sign right here, so trying to get people to see, but, yeah, it's.
So they're just needing.
Yeah, it's needed, and there's just one yield sign here, and
got
there's
all
nothing
excited.
warning these people that, hey, we have something ahead. So, it's a lot of signs, but they're all pretty much required.
Well,
There's never any signs.
okay. I have a motion, Commissioner Garcia, second, Commissioner Flores.
Does it have to include to make the stop signs enforceable?
That will need to be part of the motion for those 2 stop signs. I can enforce those.
Okay.
I'll add that to my motion.
So you're replacing a yield sign with a stop sign?
Are you just gonna put stop signs, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right, I have a motion, Commissioner Garcia. That was like a lot of information, right? Second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody against? Nobody. Motion passes. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, I get to go buy a bunch of signs.
Good luck. Item 32, discussion possible action on request for issuance.
I'll second that for
A motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second, Commissioner.
Mr. Ramiro E. Barrera? He's our newly appointed sergeant.
Oh, okay, okay.
Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 33, discussion possible land use of stage and power for circuit.
I'll second.
I have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second, Commissioner Wardlaw, and Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 34. And we'll take each one of the ones below it by itself. Discuss and possible action to award or reject the following contracts for the construction of a new fire station to be located on the north side of town in Valverde County, and authorize county judge to sign contracts upon review and approval by the county attorney. Project to be funded out of capital expenditures. A contract in the amount of $97,650.77 to Royal Building for the actual building. And just for the record, how many bids you get?
1 bid.
Okay.
Can we identify, what building are we talking about?
This is a fire station.
Okay.
Okay, I have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Garcia. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. B, a contract in the amount of $49,000 to Jess Contracting, bid number 2553, labor to construct the pre-engineered building. And he was, low bidder.
Motion to approve.
Okay?
Second.
I have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second, Commissioner Garcia. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. This other one, I'm having a little bit of hard time. A contract in the amount of $42,135 to Jess Contracting for bid 2553, labor for the construction of foundation. Jess Contracting was the lowest bidder, but was the only responsive bid. The difference between this one and the other 2 bids is that the lowest bid, which he lacked paperwork, was $27,427.50. And then the next one was $35,088. And then the other bid was $42,135. So I'm gonna ask a legal
What,
question.
Judge, I'm sorry?
Huh?
What were they lacking?
They turned in everything but forgot to sign paperwork. Forgot to notarize some documents.
Can we rebid this?
That's my question to the, there's just a lot of money left. There's a lot of disparity, and we're not taking care of the county taxpayers' dollars.
Judge, obviously this court has the authority to either accept or not, especially since it wasn't the lowest bid. If the court wants to rebid it.
Motion to reject the bid, Judge, and rebid.
Start over.
I have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second, Commissioner Wardlaw. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries. Item D, a contract in the amount of $41,680 with a base bid of $38,800 plus an alternative of $2,800 just contracting for the materials for the concrete.
Everything was good on that? Motion to approve.
But, okay, I've got a question.
Okay, you second for conversation?
I'll second that for discussion.
Okay.
Not conversation, I don't want. No, what materials are we talking about here? I mean, for concrete?
Concrete.
What, okay, not the rebar, not
No,
that
just
metal
the concrete,
stuff, okay.
just the concrete. So keep your second?
Yes, sir?
All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 35, discussion possible action to award or reject the following contract for the contract of the new event center to be located at the Val Verde County Fairgrounds and authorize county judge to sign the contracts upon review and approved by county attorney for the project to be funded out of insurance funds. A contract in the amount of $117,553 for the Royal Building.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Wardlaw. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. B, a contract in the amount of $77,175 for just contracting for bid 2556, labor to construct a green.
Make a motion.
I'll second that for discussion.
Motion Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Flores. Monday?
Was he the only bidder on that one?
No, we had 4.
Oh, really? So he was the lowest one?
He was the lowest one.
All right.
Motion Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. A contract in the amount of $64,312.50 for just contracting for bid number 2557, labor concrete foundation. Jess was the lowest bidder, but was the only responsive bidder. Was not the lowest bidder, but was the only responsive bidder.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second, but was it missing signatures or what?
Now, this one, when you look at all the bids, these were really, really close. But there wasn't a disparity of double. So, I have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, did you second?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did I answer your question? There were some signatures missing, but the disparity or the difference between the bids were minimal. I wasn't double. I have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Wardlaw. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? D, a contract in the amount of $62,740, which is a base bid of $59,940 plus an alternate of $2,800, adjust contracting for bid number 2558. This is for the material only, for the concrete itself.
Everything good on that, Judge? Signature, motion to approve.
I have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Wardlaw. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 36, discussion possible action to rescind order to rebid for Escondido Estates booster pump station and authorize purchasing to select a procurement method by either soliciting requests for proposals or to procure proposals through a cooperative purchasing program. This is for the pump station.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve, Judge.
I'll second.
I have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Garcia. This is the one that we've gone out for bid, $355,000. Bids came in at $860, $870. We're gonna have to go back out for rebid and basically do both probably before it's all over. Start calling people to bid. Because we only had 2 bidders that bid the last time.
Yes.
So that's the process we're gonna use in this time. I have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Garcia. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0.
You don't mind reading 37.
And the next one. Hello.
Okay, discussion possible action for approval to declare the following items surplus property. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Motion carried.
5-0. Item 38, discussion possible action to an HR report for the period. Before we get through this, there's 2 corrections. Period February 13th, 2025 to February 26th, 2025 on number F and G. The effective date should be February 24th on both of them, not February 20th. So those are the only corrections on this, and everything else is correct.
Yes, sir. Motion to approve, Judge, you can make corrections on there.
Second. Motion Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 39, discussion possible action regarding resolution supporting the creation of the investigator position in the county attorney's office and authorize members of the commissioner's court to sign. Resolution is necessary to support the pending application by Valverde County Attorney's Office for renewal of agency designation by Texas Commission of Law Enforcement. This is something that we've already done before. It's just redo.
It's just a requirement, judges, when you proceed with the application process to get designated as an agency.
You need action on that?
Yes.
Motion to approve,
And we
Judge.
have a resolution
I'll
that has to be signed.
Okay.
I have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Garcia. Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Item 40, discussion possible action on liquidation of excess vacation balances. We can talk about this now, we can talk about it in executive. I don't care.
Whatever choice we, executive.
I would, yeah.
Okay.
Can we table?
Motion to table, Judge.
Second. A motion, Commissioner Vasquez and Commissioner Flores, to table, to bring back. All those in favor? Aye. Item 41, item 41, closed session consultation pursuant to Texas Government Code A 551.071, parentheses 2, concerning client privilege, B 551.071, parentheses 1, parentheses A, contemplated litigation, C 551.072, regarding the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property, and possible action in open session thereafter, D 551.073, regarding negotiating contract, lease, or value of real property, possible action in open session thereafter, E 551.076, regarding security devices, security audits, and/or security personnel. If y'all will give us some room, we're gonna take a little break, and then we'll go into executive session. Thank y'all so much. There it is. All right, we're back, from executive session. It's 11:16, no action was taken. We had tabled one item, discussion possible action on liquidation of excess vacation balances. There was a sheet on, different county employees, that had vacation balances. I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion. I guess in the interest of being fair, which I'd rather not pay anybody, but, I think at some point, we need to get to where we do not, we just don't have these balances. We need to do a better job. Me included as a department head and other department heads with individuals that have outstanding balances on vacation. I think we're gonna get to the point where we're not gonna pay them anymore. And again, if it, sort of feel bad for them, but, I'm gonna make a motion that we remove a couple individuals from here. One of them being Roland and one of them being Matt. Everybody else, to get them to where they're at their original tier, or what was the wording?
That would be their tier.
Their tier. Mhm.
We're gonna, you would bump them down back to their maximum.
Maximum tier. Maximum is the word I was looking for. The maximum tier, everything else, with the dollars that they have, on vacation pay, that it be paid out at 60% of value, not the full face value.
60%, Judge?
60%, yes, sir.
And that was, minus two Roland and Garcia?
Minus Roland and minus, Matt Weingart.
I will make a second to that, Judge.
Okay. I have a motion by myself, second, Commissioner Vasquez. Again, it's really difficult for me to make that motion because, I think nobody should have got paid, but just for the record. But they're getting 60% of it. I know that if we were to pick and choose some of the departments, I know that, I'd made a comment a couple of times that the only one that I'd be paying would be the auditor's office, because I knew some of the challenges that we had faced there. But I think this might be a little bit fair. But again, if this comes up again, I will not be voting for it. I have a motion, myself, second, Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 42, commissioners' comments? None. Item 43, county judges' comments. I just want to thank council members, past and present, that have been here the last couple of meetings, and also Ms. Weingart. I think it was impressive that she showed up to our meeting. Burkhart, I'm sorry. Yeah, I've still got the other thing on my mind. Huh? Yeah, you too. I'm glad you showed up. Yeah, yeah. Oh, my God. Ms. Burkhart, I want to thank Ms. Burkhart for coming, and the city. I know that we have several projects that we're working together, or that we have ongoing, and that we need the city's help. I want to thank them for those projects, and helping us with those projects. So that was all my comments. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
A motion.
Okay, I have a motion, Commissioner Flores and Commissioner Vasquez, second by? Second? Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Thank y'all.